Okay, good afternoon. Composition 1, we are at week 6. First, I will remind you that next week your paper is due. So we're gonna talk about that a lot today. Just talk about the most important things that you need to know in order to write a good response to the gift topic. Okay, we talked about the content and the definition and how to approach it last week. This week we're going to talk about the structure. All the information is in last week's lecture. I posted, so one person has done it already. Good for you, because this is week 6 and week 7 starts on Wednesday, which means midterms are coming up. Thankfully, or fortunately, probably not thankfully, fortunately for you, this class does not have a midterm, but you do have to do the paper instead, okay? So obviously the paper, you can finish at any time up until the due date, which is April 18th. So if you do it this week, then you can have that out of the way and you can focus on your midterms. I am gonna ask you to do another short assignment because you know, our class is supposed to be scheduled. We're supposed to be in the classroom for an hour and a half or so, plus a break, right? We're supposed to have a time slot from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 4 on Monday, but instead you just get like a 30-minute compressed lecture. So that's one of the reasons there's been homework almost every week, is because I would be getting you to do some of this in class, whatever 20 minutes or 30 minutes I ask you to do. For example, the paragraph analysis stuff, we would have just done that in class. I wouldn't be giving it to you for homework, but this is how it works when we're doing it online. I'm not gonna talk for 2 hours. That would be painful for you and me. Instead, I do my 30 or 35 minutes, whatever, approximately, of lecturing and tell you all the instructions and teach you some new information. And then you have to apply it. And the only way I can get you to do that is to give you assignments. So I know it probably feels like I'm giving you homework every week. That's because we're not doing any in-class writing. So it has to be done on your own time, whenever you want. It's, you know, it's flexible. That's one good thing. So I am gonna ask you to do something, another short, you know, homework assignment, mostly to help you focus yourself on your assignment, on your paper. But it's not a big deal. And next week's lecture, I won't give you any homework. I'll give you a week break so that you can focus on your studying, right? And on your midterms. Okay, so I think we just only did the first page. So we're moving on to the second page. And on the second page, there is an exercise, which, as I mentioned at the end of last lecture, it's better not to say something is good or bad. It's better to say it's weak or strong, stronger or weaker, right? So you're always working, you know, with writing, you're always working on a spectrum where things can be improved. So that things need a lot of improvement, or they need a little improvement, or they need very little improvement. That's the process of writing, of editing, and making sure you get a good result. So have a look on page 14 there. This is what it says. A good topic sentence should include either of the following. Either is probably the wrong word. We're going to talk about conjunctions today. So rather than saying either, we should probably say all or most. That would be better. But one clear topic is an essential thing. You don't want to have more than one topic because that will divide your attention, and then it will divide the attention of the reader. If you pick one topic, then it's going to be directed, you know, specifically towards something. And that's, you know, when somebody's reading something, when they read an essay, that's what they're really looking for, something. They're searching for a topic. An essay is not for entertainment. Why do we write literature? Well, we write it to communicate ideas and to entertain. Essays are just to communicate ideas in order to argue and persuade people that the ideas you have are valuable, right? Are not necessarily correct, but that they are applicable and useful, okay? So you've got to have that one clear topic, not multiple topics. You need to have some sort of idea. They say opinion, but over the semester, I'm going to say the word opinion because the book uses it a lot, but I'm going to say that an opinion is just what you think, okay? And that's a good thing. Actually, one student emailed me and said I was standing in front of the board too much. So maybe it's because they don't want to see my mustache the whole time. I apologize. Some of my friends and my family have told me to shave, but this is an experiment and I can't let it go until the experiment is completed. And normally you can't tell that I have a mustache. So once we get back in the classroom, which is potentially next week, but we'll see. I'll post a notice about that, but we might continue. As long as nobody has any objections, we might continue a few weeks longer because this weekend, half of my friends, my personal friends, got Omicron last week and this weekend. So back to the opinion thing. The opinion thing is something that you're allowed to have. Everybody's allowed to have your opinion. What an opinion is good for is really for discussion, for having everybody contribute, right? Everybody's allowed to think whatever they want. That is what an opinion is. But I'm gonna have to pause this video because some people are making noise outside the window. Hold on. Okay, I wanted to leave the windows open because it's such a beautiful day, but people keep walking by and using their loudest voices, and I'm next to the Humanities Building courtyard, so the sound is just coming right into the room. I need some water balloons or something so I can just drop a water balloon on them, and then they'll, disperse, and I'll be able to continue my lecture, and they'll be refreshed at the same time. Anyway, sorry about that interruption, but actually in the spring when we're in class, that's probably going to happen. There's going to be noise outside the classroom while we're doing lecture anyway, but to keep this recording going without interruption, I'll just keep the windows closed. That'll be safer. So when it comes to back to the thing I was talking about, when it comes to an opinion, this is a valuable thing because we need to know what each person thinks, right? But opinions are flexible. People can change their opinion whenever they want. And, it's part of what we consider, being human is for everybody to have their opinion, even if it's wrong. I'm not even gonna say it's wrong, it's different, or it's not the best way, right? We all know we have to learn things and we have to form opinions, but your opinions can be informed by many different things. When you're writing a paper though, you need to have a firmer position. You can't just say, it's just my opinion, that's what I think. That's not good enough, right? You need to support. So it kind of starts as an opinion, but if you want everybody else to accept that opinion, then you start to say, okay, I need something, another word. I'm going to have a position. Like I keep using the word position, right? So there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. And when you talk, in fact, sometimes it's much more polite, right? Unless you feel very strongly and you need to insist about something, it's an emergency, it's a dangerous idea. Like, let's say the environment, okay? If someone has an opinion that the environment is not being damaged, and it doesn't matter if they burn garbage and they use as much energy as possible, you can't accept that opinion because they're ignoring all of the evidence that is pointing to the fact that their opinion is wrong and it's causing damage. That's an example of an opinion that is taken for the wrong reasons, right? Probably because the person isn't up to date with the scientific evidence, and because they're just, when they see a beautiful day that's doesn't have any pollution problems, or it's not super hot, then they say, look, everything's fine. But your eyes are going to deceive you, right? So you have to go beyond just what you think, and you have to gather information about what everybody else thinks. And then of course you have to use things like science. You have to use observation, and you have to test, and you have to do research, right? And all of these come together using your reason and your logic, and they support your opinion so that you can turn that opinion into a position. And then that position can be defended. And other people can disagree or agree. But it's not a fact, okay? We're gonna get to that point where things, and people are obsessed with the word fact right now. So you have to be careful, because something that is a fact is something that everybody must agree upon. It's a fact, okay? It doesn't mean that it can't change though. That's not what a fact means. I am a professor at Chungnam National University, right? That is a fact. My name is Jeremy Lawrence Sullivan. That is a fact, right? Now, if I get fired, or I quit, or I change my name to Bartholomew Smith, the fact has changed. That this person is, I'm now, what am I? I don't know, I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer, I quit Chungnam, I become a farmer, and now I'm Bartholomew Smith, the farmer. Jeremy Lawrence Sullivan, so facts change. And some people say like, a fact is permanent. A fact can never change. No, that's not what a fact is, okay? So you're gonna hear politicians say this is a fact, but something that you cannot dispute when it's said is a fact. And just because somebody said something 500 years ago, right, or 1,000 years ago, and they thought it was a fact, but then we disproved it, doesn't mean that facts don't exist anymore. Facts don't change. And it also, people argue about science too, say the science changes. Science doesn't change. Science is changeable. Is the science of Isaac Newton different than the science of Einstein? No, it's not. He added to the science. He showed that certain Newtonian physics don't work beyond this, in certain spaces, right? When you start bending light and there's black holes, and Einstein starts talking about the speed of light, these are things that were not included. Science is constantly expanding, right? The science doesn't change, the science develops. I have a big problem with the people that make these arguments. And this is what essays are good for. So this is why, if you're an English major, this class is good for you. But if you're a scientist or a businessman, or you're in philosophy or any social science, psychology, this class is good for you because it teaches you how to think. Critical thinking is important. You can't just walk around your life having an opinion. If you do, you're going to make some terrible decisions, okay? Some terrible decisions. I'm saying these things because there's opinions about vaccinations. There's even opinions about the shape of the earth. Some people think the earth is flat. There's people called flat earthers. These people who believe these things lack critical thinking skills, and they rely on only their opinion, and they have no position. They have nothing to stand on. So you have to build up. You have to build up. You can start with an opinion, but before you start writing, you don't want to write your opinion into the paper. You want to write a position. You need a controlling idea. Topic, controlling idea. Position, okay? I hope I'm making myself clear. The next thing it says, so clear topic, make sure you have a controlling idea. In other words, a position. You take a position. It's not a fact. It has to be able to be argued. And you shouldn't be too general, okay? It also says don't be too narrow, but that's not really an issue because we are dealing with 1.5 to 2 pages. That's what I asked. Nothing's gonna be too narrow. if you choose a fact, you won't be able to argue. You're just going to explain the fact. That's the problem. So if you narrow something down to just a simple fact, you won't be able to argue anything. So don't take it that far, but make a specific argument about the gift, okay? And we already talked about that last week, so we don't need to go over it again. This exercise on page 14 is trying to teach you to take a look at this. You need to circle, let me get this right. Circle the topic of the sentence and then underline the controlling idea. It says main idea, okay? But it should be controlling idea. What really you want to do is you want to take a conjunction like because or so, right? So if you say something like, the soccer ball I received was the gift I liked the best, you've got your topic and your controlling idea, but you really don't have you're not naming your position, right? You're not making an argument. What you need is to say, because I played soccer until I was in university, or I've played soccer ever since, right? This is related to one of those major points that I talked to you about. Like, why is the gift important? Well, because I used that soccer ball until, like, soccer ball is a great gift to somebody who plays with it because you play with it until it's broken, right? That's how you know that you gave somebody a good toy or a good tool, right? Any kind of gift that somebody uses so much, and assuming that it's not a cheap, if it's a cheap soccer ball, they play with it for 2 days and it breaks. That's a bad gift. But if you give somebody a soccer ball and they play with it, all summer for 2 years, and then it deflates because it's been used so much. Like every soccer ball I've ever had, I've used it so much until the leather is worn out and the inner tube has a hole in it and it can't be used anymore because it won't stay inflated. The thing has been kicked 1 million times. It's now going into the garbage, but it got its use. It is a valuable thing because it was used so much, right? So there's your link. You gotta have your topic, your controlling idea, and then use a conjunction to give the reason. And then you have a really good topic sentence, okay? But for the purpose of this exercise, I'll stand to the side here again. All I want you to do is just circle the topic, underline the controlling main idea. Notice it doesn't say controlling main idea, but I want to add that so you don't get confused. The following page, you've got those 4 points, too broad, too narrow, no main idea or opinion. There's more than one main idea. You have to judge the 2 of them. I'm not going to assign this for homework because I'm just going to trust that you do these 2 exercises. These exercises are going to be on the exam. So if you don't do them now, I suppose do them, when you're studying for the exam, because I'm going to give you questions like these on the exam. So if you don't practice them and you don't know how to do them, then you're not going to be able to do them on the exam very well. So that you can punish yourself or you can do your homework, okay? But you don't have to hand this in. Page 15, you have to choose which one is which one is the better topic sentence. None of them are perfect. Okay, now, complex sentences here. Conjunctions are these words, right, that you put in the middle of the sentence. But, and, because. These are the most important ones. If you have really short sentences, then you have really simple ideas. And in order to connect your ideas and make your argument more effective, at least having 2 phrases joined by, and, which means, plus, putting 2 things together, or minus or exceptions, but these are very effective for making connections between your ideas. So phrase and phrase, right? Phrase, conjunction, phrase. Phrase, but phrase, okay? So you're establishing a case and you're saying, but there's another case where it doesn't work. Or you're saying these 2 cases are related to each other. Of course, you know this already, so make sure you do it. Don't have simple sentences, make complex sentences. This will also be on the exam, these kind of things. Because and so are related by reason, And is related by addition, and but is related by exception. Now, when you start to do paragraphs, and I'm really asking you only to do a really long paragraph or paragraphs about the same topic. So don't do an introduction, please, okay? I'm wanting you to make one super long paragraph or maybe two longer paragraphs with the same structure, okay? But if you have a topic sentence on the second one, it's got to come back to the first one. You're only having one topic. So what if you decide, okay, I'm going to have kind of a subtopic, or this is my first point related to the topic, and this is kind of done. Then what you need is a transition, right? This transition word will go at the beginning of a thought that is connected to the previous one in some way, right? So if you're going to start a new sentence, you're going to say something like, in addition, or also, or furthermore, right? These things link, they add those ideas together. So they continue the same thought, right? And if you're going to say exception, you might say, however. Or if you're going to say something is different than the first paragraph, the second paragraph has something else to say that's got a big difference, then you say in contrast. Okay? Now, I'm going to link on the webpage for you. I'm just going to link a page on the internet that just has a list of many transition words. And all you have to do is choose one that you like. But just make sure that the category is right. Like, in contrast obviously means it's different. Contrast means different, right? If it's comparison, right? This similarly, these are called transition words, and they're very useful in writing. You don't hear them. People don't talk like that. When you're having a conversation, you don't say, similarly, when I was in Mexico, right? If I'm talking about vacations, and then I'm talking about Jamaica, and I stayed at a resort in Jamaica, and then I'm telling you about, oh, this resort was nice, and the beach, and the buffet, and the service, and the view, and the jungle, and the weather, and then I say, similarly, it's all of a sudden sounds like I'm not having a personal conversation. It sounds like I'm giving a business presentation, or that I'm trying to argue to you that Mexico or Jamaica is better than the other one, okay? Because that's how the word is used. The word is used for arguments. It's used for presentations. It's used for persuasion. So you don't say it, you write it. But it's really, really useful for writing. So these transition words, there's a lot of them. I don't know how many. I try to use a little bit of variety, but they're categorized, so they have a certain function. So, in addition and also and furthermore basically do the same thing. So just choose whichever one you prefer. It's really up to you. It's a style thing. But the meaning is important. If you use however when you're supposed to be using also, that completely changes the meaning. So you got to be careful there. Okay, so I'm going to post a link so you have lots of transitions to choose from. I want you to keep in mind, of course, the structure. And the most important thing is get an opinion, the topic is a gift. Get an opinion about get that idea that we talked about last week, right? Form an opinion about it. Give it a reason and give it some support. Write down your topic, main idea, and reason to take a position so you have a good topic sentence, and then write your support. And of course, make sure at the end of your paper you write a good concluding sentence that comes back to the main idea, the main controlling idea, the argument that you started with. And you've got perfect structure. The other things are not guaranteed, but you have the structure of almost an essay, but of a paragraph, the perfect structure for a paragraph. So just to give you one small assignment to do, you got to hand in your response paper also next Friday. I just want you to practice page 16 page 16, number 6. It's just B, C, D, E. There are 4. B, C, D, E. Okay? All you have to do is take the topic, okay? Write down the idea and make a good topic sentence. It's just an exercise. Like I said, a lot of this book, this course is not really a content course. It's about writing skill, right? You notice I'm giving you examples for a reason, because you need to have content, but it doesn't matter what the content is. It doesn't matter if I say Mexico and Jamaica, or if I say Korea and Vietnam, or if I say Germany and France. I have to come up with the ideas, but it's kind of like a formula. It is an approach to writing that's a little bit mechanical, almost more like the way that you would study math, right? You figure out the formula, and then you put in the variables, you fill in the variables with the numbers that you need. I think it's much more fun to write. So I give you the framework and I give you the formula, and then you still have some flexibility. And you do in math too, believe it or not. You have some flexibility about the way you're going to write it and the way you're going to construct your sentences, but some essentials have to be there. So if you follow those principles and those rules and the things that I recommended for you to do today, then you'll end up with a better quality paper when you hand it in next week, okay? I stopped the video part way, so I'm not sure exactly how long this video is going to turn out to be, but that's all I think I need to tell you today before you finish your paper and then we move on. As I said, I will post in the notice section confirming that we do have an in-person class starting week 7, okay? So look for that notice this week. All right. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope the good weather continues, but I think this weekend was a sneak peek of summer, and we may get a little bit of spring rain this week. So continue to be careful, and I look forward to seeing you soon in class. Again, look for the notice during the week just to confirm that everything is moving in the right direction, okay? And our class will be in 501. If that is in person, it'll be on the cyber campus. Please hand in your homework next Friday. You have until midnight next Friday. You have until midnight next Monday. Okay, sorry, I forgot this is not a Friday class. So should I be correcting the date? Let me see here. No, I think the 18th is right. I'm just saying the wrong day of the week. It is the 18th. You have until midnight of the 18th, but I strongly recommend finishing your paper and your homework before that, so you're not running into your midterm exams. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.